Hello there, Reds fans. Jarrod here again with another episode of The Pitch, and I'm very excited. Once again, I'm always excited on these videos. Today, I get to chat to a man who we welcome back to Cooper Stadium, Michael Marrone. Michael, welcome to The Pitch, mate.
Cheers.
Hey, first of all, if the fans hadn't seen the game that we played last week against the Central Coast Mariners, you made your return to Cooper Stadium, get onto the pitch and almost score your very first A-League goal with like an incredible passage of play. What was going through your head?
Well, I sort of stole the ball off the first guy and the defenders were pretty tired at that stage. I think their left back and right back were both on yellow cards and they'd been tormented by both our wingers. And then they brought on Awar and Geronimo as well to further, get them tired. So sort of skipped past them and then probably should have kept going with it, to be honest. I was looking for the layoff. I saw Bruce and Geronimo there and I took too long and should have done better, really.
Well, the reason I ask is because Osama Malik did something similar at the start of the year. Now, he scored a goal, and he never scores goal, Aussies, because he's, usually sometimes gets a header, but he's sitting at the back, controlling the defence. Aussie gets a goal, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's celebrated by kissing his wedding ring finger, and he's not even married, he's got a lot of stick from the boys this season. When you were running towards the goal, was the celebration going through your head?
Not at all.
Okay. That's okay. Now, I need to ask, I guess I should have asked it first, what brings you back to Adelaide? How did this all happen?
Well, I was a year into my contract with the Chinese club, Shanghai Shenzhen. I had another year to go. During the off-season, I started training back here with Adelaide, just to keep fitness levels up, because I know when they hit pre-season, they hit it pretty hard over there, so I thought I'll get a head start. And during that time, we went on to our third coach with Shanghai.
Yep.
So another fella that I didn't know, because as I've said a few times, it's pretty volatile over there. They change a lot of things pretty quick. So this new coach decided he wanted to bring in a new foreign striker and a new foreign centre back, because he thought those areas they needed improvement. So the two players that were playing midfield in our team, myself and another Brazilian player, sort of just was see you later.
Right. See,
that's what happens in football.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that it's such a volatile environment over there in the Asian leagues, because you think of players like yourself, Ryan Griffiths, who's come back, Daniel Mullen, who's now a member of the Wanderers, and also Sasa Ognanovski, who's now playing for Sydney FC. A lot of these players who have played over in those leagues are now making, I guess, quick stints and then having a look around the world for other leagues. Is that just a reflection of how cutthroat those leagues can be?
Yeah, they can definitely be cutthroat. I guess the Australian players coming back, I think they've come back all for different reasons. To categorise them as saying the same thing is probably a bit unfair to some of the players.
Yeah.
I think some of the players, for instance, Sash, I think Oganoski, he just said he's come back maybe to get under the eye for Socceroos. Other players are coming back like myself with, not having a position to play over there pretty much. So everyone's got their own reason for coming back, but it's definitely a very strong league to play in. And enjoying it already. And
it must be good for you, because I guess a lot of players, when they come to the A-League, and whether you're starting off in your career or you've come back into the league and you have so many different clubs who are having a look at you, to be able to play, first of all, for a place like Adelaide, where obviously this is your place, and then also a club which you're familiar with a few of the people here, it makes that transition easier back into the club in comparison to, I guess, going to a Sydney or a Perth.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I think the only clubs that I would have known people at would be my former club, Melbourne Heart.
Yep.
And Adelaide. I know a lot of the players, I know a lot of the staff and the backroom staff, and it's like a second homecoming, I guess. It's been a good transition.
Have you noticed any key differences from when you left Adelaide United, and obviously you went over to Melbourne Heart, and I think, I'm not sure if you still are, but we're their games record holder for a while of games played for the club. But then coming back to Adelaide now, when you did leave, obviously with the A-League there's a lot of player transfers and changeovers and coaching staff and structures and things like that. But for you, what's the key standout compared to when you left the club of where we are at now?
Well, it's completely different ownership for one, but as a player, I guess you don't notice a lot of the things that happen off the pitch, because that's sort of left off the pitch, and the football department and the players are just left to do just football, so it's good in that regard. I know still a couple of players from when I first played here.
Yeah.
I think, hopefully I don't leave anyone out, but I think it's Casio and Eugene Galekovic. I think those two are the originals that I played with back in 2008-9, yeah.
So then when you come back here and we put on a performance like we did at Cooper Stadium versus Central Coast on Friday night, and as a supporter, I think that's one of the best games I've seen the club play all season under the guidance of Josep Gombau. And it's going to be hard for you to comment because you've only been there for a couple of weeks, but to see not only the skills of the players but also the ability to maintain that possession, that would be something that Jocep's really proud of, I guess, because it's something that we've been working towards for the whole season, and now we're seeing a lot of results come because of this possession style play.
Yeah, I guess I didn't watch any of the Adelaide games at the start of the season, so I've heard a lot about it, but about their difficulties early on, but I've only sort of started to watch in the past month or so since I've been here. But they definitely, I think when teams play Adelaide now, they know that Adelaide has a certain style and a certain shape, and I think that's a great thing to have at a club.
Okay, number 2. Now you are wearing the number of club greats. Richie Alagich, Osama Malik, so he changed numbers this year, and then of course Robbie Cornthwaite. Any particular reason why you got number 2?
It was sort of an afterthought. After I signed, I just mentioned, what number am I going to be? And he had a quick look and he said, we've got number 2 or number 32, number 34. Yeah. Anyway, the list went quite high, so easy decision.
Okay. And how's your Chinese? I spoke to Ryan Griffiths a few weeks ago and he's very fluent in Chinese. What's yours like?
Well, he'd been there a while, so I think I know enough to get around in a cab, and that's about it. And on the pitch, I know a few directions here or there.
Good. All right. Just before we wrap things up, having a look forward now, we've got the game against Melbourne Victory this weekend at Amy Park, which is obviously, no matter where the sides are on the ladder, it's a grudge match. And then we come back here on Thursday night and play against the Wellington Phoenix in the lead up to Clipsal 500. That's why that game's been changed as well. What sort of momentum are you guys looking at now? Away trips are always difficult, but then you come back and Wellington are obviously a little bit upset because they lost 5-0. What are the plans from Josep with some players coming back from injury by any chance? Cassio can't be too far away.
He's doing sort of half trainings, but I wouldn't expect him in this week.
Yep.
But I think it's just more of the same, really. Last 2 weeks, performances have been excellent. I think it's just about maintaining that sort of level. Amy Park's going to be a great pitch to play on. And then we'll come back here on next Thursday and play Wellington, so hopefully we can just keep the form up.
Actually, I did want to ask you about Amy Park because of this victory game. You spent so much time there with the Melbourne Heart. Now, I may ask the worst question in the world here, but when it comes to different pitches and the way they play, so the way the grass is cut and the way the ball moves, does that come into effect at all in something that you can know spending so much time with the Heart at Amy Park?
I haven't been there in a year. I'm assuming it's the same, but it's always a nippy pitch. The ball, they always wet it before the game usually too, so the ball zips about. So I think it just should suit us fine.
Okay, and is Jake Barkadash your most annoying teammate so far?
Annoying teammate?
Yeah.
I think I might get in trouble here. We were just in the gym and all the boys were laughing because I was saying about Izzo. Izzo, he's got to be the number 1.
Izzo.
Quietest guy.
Yeah.
Until you know him for 5 minutes, and then.
And you look at his social media, and he takes like as many selfies as Jacob Melling does. Can we follow you on social media? Twitter?
I just have to remember. I think it's at Mick Marrone.
Okay, and actually, someone asked on Twitter, because I asked today, just finally, your most preferred position on the ground, because it has varied a little bit throughout your career. But if Josep came and said to you, "Listen, mate, where do you want to play? I'll play you there right now." What is it?
Oof, on the spot.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what type of team I'm playing in. If it's in an attacking team, I love getting forward and bombing down the wing, so I like in fullback. But at the same time, I like holding mid as well. So.
And you almost got a goal, mate, so you could almost be the new striker if Geronimo gets injured or something like that. Now, Michael Marrone, thank you very much for hanging out with me here on the pitch. You haven't seen one of these before, so this is going to be interesting. We have to hug. It happens at the end of everything. I hugged the CEO last week, so you down with that?
Okay, let's do it.
Yes! He's got a good hug on him. He's a good-looking man. He's got heaps of hair. I don't. And wow, he's a strapping young gentleman. Anyway, make sure you watch the boys this weekend playing against Victory at Amy Park, and then Thursday, the 27th of Feb, against Wellington Phoenix. Bring your fush and chops. All right, thanks for watching the pitch.